Richard really has slowed down his pace. 3-2 again on the way. Foster takes it high and outside, ball 4. Breaking pitch, and the Reds are on the scoreboard. Collins scores. That'll be Foster's 94th RBI of the year. So back-to-back walks after the single by Collins, a double by Morgan, puts the Reds on the board, and Johnny Bench, the batter. The bases remain loaded, and we're going to get some activity down in the Houston bullpen. And it looks like Joaquin Andujar and Randy Neiman, the left-hander, will start throwing in the Houston bullpen. Joaquin Andujar, the right-hander, and Randy Neiman, the left-hander, throwing in the Houston bullpen. Reds leading 1-0. Johnny Bench at the plate. John hitting .270 with 19 home runs and 69 RBI. J.R. Richard ready to work to Bench. He delivers. John swings and misses. Pitch down around the knees. 0-1. Foster first base, Concepcion at third, Concepcion at second, and Morgan at third. Reds lead 1-0 here in the fourth. The 0-1. Bench swings and misses a slider away, and quickly the count goes 0-2 to Johnny Bench. Pujols hangs the sign. Richard, the 0-2 delivery. Bench looks at a breaking ball that's high. 1-2. The Astros in one-run games this year have won 36 and lost 22. Reds are 26-29. Here's the 1-2 to Bench. John lines it down the left field line. That is a fair ball. Here comes Concepcion. The ball gets away from Cruz. They're going to hold Foster up, and he runs through a stop sign, and he's a dead duck. Well, George Foster running with his head down, and Russ Nixon had his hands up before he ever got to third base, but he is out easily at the plate. Bench winds up at third base. John with a couple of RBIs. The Reds lead at 3-0, but George Foster running with his head down again. And Russ Nixon was holding him up before he ever got close to third base. Foster out from Cruz to Reynolds to Pujols. One away, Bench at third, and John with RBIs number 70 and 71. The Reds leading 3-0, and Danny Dreesen at the plate. The Houston infield pulled in. Richard delivers. Dreesen takes, low and inside a ball. Well, if you're scoring, credit Bench with a double, and he goes to third on the throw to the plate. Reds now with 3 hits off Richard. The 1-0 to Dreesen. And he swings and misses a slider in, and it evens at 1-1. Three to nothing. The Reds lead. We got Bench at third with 1 out. The pitch. Dreesen lines it to center field. That'll be caught, but it'll score Bench easily as Poole grabs the ball. Bench tags. He scores easily, and it's a 4-0 ball game. Well, Danny Dreesen does the job. He had one hard to Poole in center field. Terry had to back off a couple of steps. So Bench scores easily, and that is Danny Dreesen's 70th RBI of the year.
Foster quickly ties his right shoelace. Andujar looks to third. Davey taking the lead down the line. Stretching the 2-1 pitch. Here it is. Swung on, bouncing ball wide of third. Up with the ball, Cabell. They've got Davey hung up. He stopped running. The throw to Pujols. Now the throw to Cabell. Here's Andujar. The ball goes to him. He's running Davey back toward third. And we've got interference, I believe. There's going to be an interference call.
Andujar stood in the baseline. He got rid of the baseball, and Davey turned back toward home, and Andujar couldn't control himself, ran into Concepcion, and that constitutes interference, and we score a run, and Foster winds up in second base.
Well, it looked like Dave Concepcion had committed the supreme faux pas because that ball was wide of third. He broke toward the plate, then stopped about three-quarters of the way down the line. Then the rundown began. The ball went to Pujols, then to Cabell, then to Andujar. He ran him back toward third, flipped on to Craig Reynolds, and then simply a collision the baseline. Davey was knocked down by Andujar. He's going to be charged with interference. That's going to be an error on the pitcher, and the run is awarded to Cincinnati. It's now 5-4. Well, we come to the top of the ninth inning. Houston looking at a two-run deficit. And before we get into this ninth inning, we certainly want to reflect once again on the big day here at the stadium on Sunday. Quite a day. The only way to describe it for Wade Hoyt, whose 80th birthday was celebrated here at the stadium. We, of course, try to keep you attuned to the goings-on here at the stadium Sunday, but we also understand that, well, some of Wade's friends got together for a terrific evening Sunday night at Vernon Manor. Johnny Bench was the MC for a black-tie dinner, and quite a bit of reminiscing about Wade Hoyt's career as a pitcher and his broadcast career here in Cincinnati. And we understand quite a few laughs, too. Not to take anything away from the old left-hander, but Joe in a tuxedo would evoke some interesting comments, I think. Tommy Hume ready to go. In the bullpen, loosening is Mario Soto. Hopefully his services won't be needed. Hume brings it to Cruz. Bouncing ball up the middle. Morgan backhands, flips to Concepcion, throws to first, not in time. They almost pulled it off. Cruz goes tumbling over the bag, and he's on with an infield single to begin the ninth inning. Here's Enos Cabell. He double homer run in the seventh inning. You never take anything for granted when you play this Houston ball club. And they begin the ninth with an infield single. Their 14th hit. And now Cabell will stand in against Hume. Infield a double play depth. Cabell takes it low for a ball. Now, you had to figure this series was going to evoke a playoff atmosphere, World Series atmosphere, whatever you like. And indeed it has. There are writers in from all over the country covering this series. New York Times, New York Post, Washington Post, Washington Star. Here's a base hit into right center field. Cruz takes a turn. He's going to come on to third base. And the Astros have their first two men on in the ninth. First and third, nobody out. Jeff Leonard at the plate. Now the attendance here tonight, 47,178. 47,178. So Tommy Hume in trouble as he surrenders back-to-back base hits from Jose Cruz and Enos Cabell. Bill Fisher, the Reds pitching coach, has come to the mound to talk with Hume and Johnny Bench. Ray Knight, Davey Concepcion also there. The Astros are trailing 9-7, but they have the tying runs aboard and nobody out. Writers also in from the Chicago Sun-Times, the Cleveland Plain Dealer, the Atlanta Constitution, the Toledo Blade, the Fort Worth Star-News, as well as from all over Reds country. And, of course, you're talking about newspapers from Dayton, Indianapolis, Columbus, Louisville, and Lexington. So the press box is jammed. They've got them seated down in the press dining room. And they have certainly seen a classic tonight. Here's a pitch to Leonard. He swings and fouls it off. Tommy Hume with his work cut out for him. Leonard at the plate. Bruce Bochy, the catcher, on deck. Then Rafael Landistoi. Tom Dixon throwing in the Houston pen. Mario Soto continues for Cincinnati. Runners leading at first and third. Hume works. Leonard takes, and that's a ball. 1-1. Astros went out meekly in order in the 8th inning, but they've come out smoking in the 9th. Pitch. Leonard jammed and fouls it down the right field line. 1-2. Jeff is struck out. Bounced back to the mound. He was robbed on a good play by Seaver in the 4th inning. Double to left center in the 6th. And was intentionally walked in the 7th. Hume out in front. Ball 1, strike 2. The stretch, the pause, and the pitch. He grounds foul. Foul ball at first base. Danny Dreesen grabbed it. Those cat-like reflexes by Dreesen really paid off, and just foul on a rocket shot outside of first base. Outfield spread out. A lot of room down the left field line. Leonard normally will not pull the baseball. The pitch. He grounds it up the middle. Concepcion steps on second, throws the first, double play. Run scores, but the Reds get a double play out of it, and it's 9-8. A hard grounder up the middle. Davey was shading him that way. Came up with the ball. Stepped on second. Fired a strike to Dreesen. 2 down. Bases are empty, and the Reds lead by 1. Now let's see who Bill Burton will pull out of his bag of tricks now. It looks like ageless Jay Alou will come to the plate to pinch hit for Bruce Bochy. A bona fide gold-plated frog strangler here at Riverfront. And it's not over yet, as Alou now will swing the bat against Hume. A man who beat us with a big base hit down in Houston earlier this season. He's hitting .243, 9 for 37. 3 doubles, 9 RBIs. And he now tries to keep the Astros alive. They've scored once. The bases are empty, and Alou takes it low for a ball. Reds 1 out away from moving back into first place by a half game, and a very important first game win in this 2-game series. Swung on, fly ball, hit to right field. Coming hard is Cruz. It will fall for a base hit. The ball bounces one big time, and Cruz coasts into second base with a double. Jay Alou flares one down the right field line. Hector Cruz, after a long run, had to pull up short. The ball bounced high on the AstroTurf. Alou actually came up with the ball in foul territory after it had hit fair. Alou goes to second with a 2-out double, and speedy Jimmy Sexton, who can really move, is now on at second base as a pinch runner. And a man who has gone 4 for 4, Rafael Landeskog at the plate. He singled in the second. He double homer run in the 5th. He singled in the 6th. He singled to left to knock in a run in the 7th. Houston now with 16 base hits. They have the tying run at second, 2 out. Tommy Hume waiting through a very difficult 9th inning. He delivers to Landeskog. A bouncing ball up the middle. Concepcion's got it. He'll hold the baseball. Here comes Sexton to the plate. Now he puts on the brakes and goes back to third. Dave Concepcion just made a run-saving play behind second base. And you got to believe that Jimmy Sexton was thinking that ball was going to get through. He came full bore around third and was able to put on the brakes in time, get back to third without drawing a throw, and Houston continues to do it here in the 9th inning. First and third, 2 out. And now let's see who's going to come to the plate. The Astros have had 4 hits in this 9th inning. The last 2 coming after Jeff Leonard had hit into a double play, with Cruz scoring to make it 9-8. Jay Alou with a pinch double down the right field line, and now an infield hit behind second by Rafael Landeskog, his 5th consecutive hit, and Art Howe will now pinch hit for the Houston Astros. Howe hitting .251 with 6 homers and 31 RBIs. He's a man we were telling you about earlier as having all sorts of hamstring problems this season. And they say that problem has now worked itself up into his right hip, which may well indicate a possible pinched nerve. But Bill Burton is calling on him to pinch hit here with Sexton at third, Landis-Stoy at first, 2 out, and a 9-8 game. Now taking a lot of time in that on-deck circle as he swings a bat. And this crowd of 47,178 getting a wee bit impatient for him to come on. Howe has been up as a pinch hitter this season a total of 9 times. He's had 1 hit. Hume still waiting as Howe has reached the plate and now slowly makes his way to the batter's box. The outfield spread out. A lot of room in right center. Runners at first and third. 2 out. And Hume pitches to Howe. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike on right-handed batting Art Howe. Sexton at third base. He's a tie-in run. Over at first, Rafael Landis-Stoy. And the 1-strike pitch to Howe is swung on and missed again. Strike 2. Throw down to first. Ball bounced in front of Dreesen. Danny knocked it down. And Sexton made a late break for home and then decided to go back to third. Danny Dreesen making a good play on a not-so-hot throw by Johnny Bench. So now it is 0-2 on Art Howe. 9-8 Cincinnati. Houston has scored once here in the 9th. Howe climbs back in. Hume looks down to Bench. The stretch, the pitch. That's low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners take their leads, first and third. Howe waves the bat around. Hume studies a sign. He stretches. He pitches. He got him. Strike 3 call. And this one belongs to the Reds. In the 9th inning for Houston. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors, and 2 left. In a classic ball game that will, without question, be remembered for many, many years to come. The Reds jump back into first place by a half a game as they defeat the Astros 9-8. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, the opening game of the series tonight was billed as one of the classic pitching duels of all the season, pitting Tom Seaver against J.R. Richard. That it most decidedly wasn't, although it looked for a while as if it was going to be. It was 0-0 at the end of 3.5 innings of play. The Reds had 9 straight batters retired going to the 4th inning, but then they came up with 4 big ones against J.R. Richard, sending 8 batters to the plate in the 4th. Dave Collins got a base hit. Joe Morgan doubled. Davey Concepcion walked. Richard walked Foster to force home a run. Johnny Bench double to left, making it 3-0. And Danny Dreesen sacrifice fly to center made it 4-0. The Astros came off the mat. They scored twice in the 5th inning. A run-scoring double by Landis-Stoy. A run-scoring 2-base hit in the same inning by Poole, making it 4-2. They then tied it up in the 6th inning, getting a 2-run pinch hit double by Denny Walling off Tom Seaver. That brought on right-hander Doug Baer. He was a recipient of a fine defensive play by Dave Collins on Cedeno's line drive to end the inning, but the Astros had tied things up at 4-4. They went out in front. The Reds did in the bottom half of the 6th inning, scoring 2 times, one of them on the interference call against pitcher Joaquin Andujar, the other scoring on a 2-out double to left field by Ray Knight. But back came Houston. They sent 8 batters to the plate in the 7th inning, scoring 3 times. 1 run came home on a double by Cabell, another on a sacrifice fly by rookie Danny Heap, and another on a base hit to left field by Rafael Landis-Stoy to give Houston a 7-6 advantage. That's the way it was going to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Reds got their first 2 men on, but then Hector Cruz was picked off of second base. Joe Morgan popped up the third with 2 out. Dave Concepcion with a runner on and 2 down stepped to the plate. The Reds were a run down, and here's what happened.
leads at first. Bochy hangs the sign. Zambito to the belt and delivers. Concepcion hits it well to left field, and that is a home run. The Reds lead at 8-6, 7 now, and Davey has just hit his 15th home run of the year and has driven in now 81, so a career high for Dave Concepcion in home runs, and he ties a career high in RBIs with 81. So Davey puts us back on top.
It was 8-7 at that point when Concepcion lined one over the left field wall off Joe Zambito. The fans had hardly settled back into their seats when George Foster stepped to the plate, and Joe calls this one.
Zambito, a ball, a strike to Foster, delivers. George swings, hits that one, and no doubt at all about that one. That is a shot into the green seat, and the Reds lead 9-7.
That was back-to-back home runs in the 7th inning. The Reds were then up by 2. Tommy Hume retired them in order, 1, 2, 3 in the 8th inning. Things looked very secure, but of course on a game that was insecure on both sides, the Astros had one more bolt. In the 9th inning, Cruz led off with an infield single. A single to right center by Cabell. Sent Cruz to third. Then Jeff Leonard hit a ball up the middle. Davey came up with the ball, stepped on second, fired to first, and as a run scored, a double play, 2 out, it was 9-8 Cincinnati. The Astros weren't done yet. A double to right field by pinch hitter Jay Alou. An infield single by Rafael Landestoy moved pinch runner Jimmy Sexton to third base. Davey made a super play on that ball hit behind second by Landestoy to keep the tying run from scoring. And then Art Howe was sent to the plate to pinch hit, and Tommy Hume shut him off. Runners take their leads, first and third. Howe waves the bat around. Hume studies the sign. He stretches. He pitches. He got him. Strike 3 call. And this one belongs to the Reds. That was a final bolt on a night of ups and downs, a roller coaster ride of emotion here tonight before over 47,000. The call third strike thrown by Howe ended it, and the Reds find themselves back into first place by 1/2 game. Reds had 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors, and 4 left. Houston 8 runs, 17 hits, 3 errors, and they left 10 men on. Tommy Hume, the winning pitcher, he's now 10-8 on the year. Joe Zambito suffers a loss in relief. His record is 7-6. As we said earlier, and I got to believe it's true, this game is going to be remembered by Reds fans and Houston fans alike for a long, long time. Final game of the series coming up tomorrow night. Seats are still available. And if you think this was something else, we look for more of the same tomorrow night. But again, as Joe said, we've got a good pitching matchup. Mike Lacoste, 14-6 for the Reds. Joe Niekro, 18-9 for Houston. We'll kick it off at 8:05. We'll be on the air with the pregame shows on most of these same stations beginning at 7:35 Cincinnati time. Again, the final score tonight in a game that took 3 hours and 14 minutes to play before a crowd of 47,178. The Reds 9, the Astros 8.